Welcome to Elbaf. We're here. We're with the Giants. We're on their home turf, the home turf of Legoland. Not a super eventful chapter. I think this was more for Oda to get some extra merch out there for people that didn't get enough of similar designs to Wano or Onigashima, Kaido's crew. But we're landed right on Elbaf. We don't even get anything from where Dory and Bragi are, the rest of the crew. It's the main crew and some Giants. And we see, in the architecture, like I was talking about it being Legoland in the last chapter, this one seems to be pretty similar. And I'm wondering because I'm starting to think the Giants are really dumb. The reason I say that is because I don't think they understand too much about what's going on in the real world, because they keep talking about the sun god, the ear god. They're talking about all these different gods. And I think they're just too prideful to not be ritualistic people. And they're talking about enormous rabbits. They don't seem very smart. I can't even necessarily say that they're not like savvy with it, but in terms of overall beliefs and like being able to be tricked, they seem pretty dumb. I do think that gives an avenue for someone like Usopp. If you remember in Dressrosa, he was Usalind, and the Totaina, I forget how to say it, the Totana, believed everything that he would say. They believed absolutely everything that he would say. And I could see that being a great storyline during this arc. I have no idea where it's going to go, but him starting in a similar place of just kind of saying how great he is, and then maybe he ends up showing it at the end. The reason I say that is because this arc almost has to feature Usopp. Almost has to. This arc has been something that's been talked about. We've been seeing little breadcrumbs here and there on multiple arcs, but all the way back Little Garden, which is where we first got Dory and Bragi, and where we're learning about how great Elbaf is and how it's full of amazing warriors. But with amazing warriors kind of comes a little bit of ignorance and naivete. So I'm interested to see what they're about. The other thing that brought my interest on the first couple pages was Yggdrasil, the giant tree. And I think that tree is going to play maybe even a world building effect. And I'm interested to see what exactly that tree is for and what it's about. But besides that, there's not a whole lot to stipulate on this chapter. Some of the things that I saw, obviously, we're taking the POV of Nami and Zeus just being... You're not even really worried about Nami by herself anymore, because Zeus is just such a heavy hitter. Such a heavy hitter that you're just like, she should be fine. Like, you blast just about half the world more than that with Zeus, and they're not getting back up. So I don't worry for Nami as much as, let's say, I used to. But she clearly still does, which you gotta love. Nami, at the end of the day, hasn't really changed too much. She runs into Usopp and a couple of other giant creatures. We see that the castle basically looks all laid with Legos. But not a whole lot going on here. Usopp's being eaten. She meets up with the rest of the crew. She saves Usopp only to kill him again. And there was a funny little scene where she's using him as a human shield, and he's like, I won't forget that, because he got slapped because he thought it was hallucination, which I feel like it almost has something to do with that. It's easy because it's confusing, right? We always kind of start the arc off with a little bit of mystery, whether it's the toys in Dressrosa or the trees and whole cake. But how did they get here? How did they get here, and how are the Giants unaware of it on the ship? Now, I think the Giants are dumb. Like I said earlier, I think that that's an easy way to explain it, that they don't even really know what's going on. But I think somebody does, and that person's Loki. I was hoping Loki would be introduced right now, but it looks like we're going to have to wait a little bit for that. But we can almost guarantee, in my opinion, that he's normal size. And the reason I say that is because a lot of the point of views in this chapter, and Oda is very keen and direct and exact with his art, it looks like this castle is normal size. This castle does not look like a giant's castle, by any means. By any means does it look like a giant's castle. So then I would assume that Loki built this, and he kind of has the giants as like followers in a way. Whether he's a giant sham, I feel like that would be kind of tough to believe at this point, with like Dory and Bragi and just how powerful the Giants are. But like I said, they're pretty naive, so who knows exactly what he's gotten away with them. But we're gonna have to wait. We don't get a chapter even next week, and we probably won't get Loki for a little while, or to know the greatness of what is Yggdrasil. But like I said, Oda doesn't use a tree like Yggdrasil lightly. If it's historical or if it's mythological, he uses that very poignantly. He knows what he's doing with that. He's done the research, and he won't. A tree that's that important in fantasy, I know it's going to be important. I just know it's going to be. But we meet up with the rest of the crew. We see that there's this transforming lion that like fuses and does other shit, and clearly similar to like the illusions that the guy was talking about with the absinthe earlier. And I think that that probably has something to do with Loki's power, just because he is Loki in his mythologically is treachery, and like he's mischievous. So like a lot of this not making sense could be explained by that, but it's tough to say. But the main trio, the monster trio, if you will, they take out the lion and they kind of just take it in stride. They're like, dude, we've seen some shit when we've been in the New World and on the Grand Line just in general. So let's get to work. Everything's kind of, giant. They are worried about the ship, which is real, because I'm just like, where is that? Like, where is the ship? Like, weren't you guys on the ship? The Giants don't know where the ship is. I don't know how you teleported to this island, but I'm assuming we'll figure it out. There's not a whole lot else to say besides that. Welcome to Elbaf. Should be fun. Should be good. An arc this built up in terms of hype almost has to be. And Oda, if anything, delivers. So I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. Next week we're on a break. I might be too, but we'll see. Take care. Have a great day. Like and sub, and go One Piece. Late chapter this week for sure. Just came out. Literally just came out.